So this one is a real one you find around here. You know, we call it Blindschleiche, blind crawly. Hello. So this is how steep we're going up. The poles aren't correct, you know, we are not like this. You can tell by the trees, we are like this. There you go. You know, it's like really steep. Ooh. This one is almost correct. It's rather like this. That one is almost correct. Yes. So, walking up, not having too much breath left, I want to tell you about the stuff that I threw away. So lately when I was sitting with Esther, I told her, because she seems to be a messy, she tells me to not let me into her house, never ever. And yeah, she kind of was pointing towards the direction of being messy. So me, being the opposite, I told her. So yeah, I threw away a spoon and plastic gloves. Let's explain the spoon. If I have a soup, I can drink it. If I have a kind of a pasty sort of brew, I can eat it with a fork. With a fork that I still own, I can always be squashing things, and so I needed to keep the fork. But for everything else, like measuring teaspoons full of this and that, hey, there are so many different sizes of teaspoons, so you have to remember the actual size they talk about. So when it says a quarter of a teaspoon vinegar for your cat, yeah, it's really not much. And a teaspoon won't help. So yeah, because there are so many different sizes of them. So like spoons are for dessert and for picking sugar out of a ball, like getting it out of the ball. For honey there exists some sort of a spoon, and then for coffee, and then to have the soup. So it's like, yeah, there is a teaspoon to stir the tea, but there are different designs. When you buy a luxury one, your teaspoon might be a bit bigger, and when you buy a, you know, design one, it might even not contain a container to put stuff into. It might just be a flat something. I've seen that on a coffee brand. So you cannot really put anything on it, on that coffee spoon. So coffee and teaspoon normally being the same size approximately. If it's not for mocha, then yeah, that spoon would not have helped me. So we're right here at our midway bench, and yeah, I was throwing the gloves away because whenever I do hand washing of my underwear, I need real hot water. So now I would do it without the gloves. So I do it in fairly hot water, and then I would just let them have a bath in cooking kind of water, as hot as my tap water can get. And I let it rest, so all the bacteria gets killed off, so I'm fine. And also I throw away quite a bit of underwear, and I'm using sanitary pads, so I don't have to, like, you know, when I'm drooling and stuff. Sometimes I get this problem. I'm not having to change the underwear that often. So I'm dealing with it as men do. They use their underwear this way around, and then they use it the other way around. And they flip it all over, and they do the same with that turned over underwear as well. I'm joking, but basically I'm not changing my underwear twice a day as I used to. You know, I got to know a woman, and she tells me she's not wearing underwear, and her son and sons maybe also don't. So when they need to change for sports at school, that one kind of gets difficult. And she's from Switzerland, but her fiancé is from Nepal. So that's where this comes from. You probably can't buy underwear all over the world, so it's not something you really need. But for women, it's cool to keep the stuff together so it doesn't start hanging. Like men have this problem. If they have too tight underwear, they get too hot, so their sperms don't move that fast anymore. So a kilt would be the best solution for your sperm count and the movability of them. But if they have nothing, their sacs start, to gravitate towards, the center of the earth. So, once they are in a coffin, you can, wrap those sacs all around them, sort of. But me, I don't want to end up there, so, I'm not having sex, but just to tell you that women do have stuff that can start to gravitate towards the center of the earth too. So that's why I want to wear underwear. I told her so, and she went like, huh? And then she asked me how big my breast area is, just to check out. Are you one of those big-breasted women? And I go, no, I'm just normal. Believe me, I'm normal with everything. So that's why I threw away those gloves. And since I have moved so many times this year, let's move on. That's a good. There someone didn't really get it. Hello? And then this one. Where is it? This one. It looks as if they have used this bench for something very special. Or they haven't. Well, they probably have. And you know what I mean. So when you sit on these benches, be aware of sperms. It's maybe better to sit on a rock like this. Just check, is it moving, and then sit. Yeah. So I was moving 3 times last year, and twice the year before, and once this year. So I actually moved from east of Switzerland to the very east of Switzerland. So that one was once. Then I moved to Canton Grisons. That one was twice. Then I moved to Zurich. That one was the 3rd time. Then I moved from Zurich to this area, valley. But I was in the valley. So that one was the 4th. So the 5th time was when I moved up onto the hill, the mountain area. So 5 times. This year, last year, and December, the year before last year. was the first time that I moved. So you can say like in 2 years, basically I moved 5 times. And I also always went to the governmental office, telling them I'm moving and, you know, all of that. It wasn't sort of a hippie kind of, I do what I want. I go here and there. So the first time I moved, I threw away all my furniture. I knew that I'm done with that bullshit. The next place I find to live, I want to be on the floor on a carpet, nomad style. It's just better for my back. Then, when I moved again, I also got rid of the table. I used to have a working table. That one I got rid of. And also, like, a lot of things that I had bought because I thought the world is gonna end. I just used up and threw away the water canisters and stuff like that. And now I don't really remember. Then the next flat I had, well, when I then moved, I threw away the small carpet. So I had to rebuy a carpet once I moved into that flat, because I was moving into a tent in Zurich and I was having all my stuff at the friend's cellar, well, which is a cellar. And the one that moved me, that woman got my arrow, the bows, a carpet and a speaker. So just before I had demolished electric guitar, made a video. So then the next time I threw away a long carpet and all these things that I had bought to prep myself for crisis. But now I bought a sleeping bag, a real good down overall suit. It's trousers basically, but they go all up towards the hip area and more, like Himalayan style. You would wear a jacket to it and you'd be perfect. So that one, you know, really expensive stuff then I bought instead. So yeah, and yeah, lately, as I said, plastic gloves and the sledge had to go, the bobsledge had to go. I used to have more balls in the kitchen and more wooden spoons. I'm gonna rebuy some teakwood spoon, something. But yeah, it has to be some kind of a iced coffee spoon, because with that spoon with a long handle I want to be able to steer stuff when I cook and to eat, and also just to measure out portions of like cumin oil or whatever I'm taking. So I once bought quite a lot of these, but I have like used them all up. So lately I have just bought a normal Christmas tree. Sorry for calling you Christmas trees. There sure is some. Up there is little ones. You know, wood to kind of have a spoon. A so-called kitchen chef made from wood I bought, and I put it into the shape I needed it